Hi guys, it's me Nice Now and I'm back with another reaction to divorce court cases. For today, we're discussing a case of irresponsibility in relationships and marriages. A husband that continuously drinks with his friends, female friends that stir up trouble, a naked picture online, and driving a child while drunk is what brought this woman to divorce court today. So let's see if she should go or she should stay.
And Mrs. Merriweather, you have been married for 3 years. You don't have any children together, but you do have children from previous relationships. Mrs. Merriweather, you say since you were married, he has changed, and that has changed your feelings about this relationship. Why don't you tell me what's gone wrong with Mr. Merriweather in the 3 years that you've been married?
Well, when we first started out, we've been together for 6 years, but married for 3. When we first started out, what attracted me to him to want to be in a relationship with him, because we've always known each other since about grade school, is because he felt, when I talked to him, he came across and said that he wanted to change. He had some issues with being incarcerated and whatnot. And he said he wanted to change, and it sounded good, and he was doing things, taking steps to do that.
Right.
When we first got together, we couldn't get enough of each other. You know, he was hard working, even though, you know, with his situation, it was hard for him to get employment. But he did temporary jobs. He fixed on people's houses, cars, or whatever
He did whatever he could to make some money.
Whatever he needed to do. And he would come home.
Look good so far.
He'd come home to me and say, you know, with the check and say, well, this is, you give me what you want me to have back. That's how it started.
Looking really good.
Right. But then after we got married, it just did a whole 180. I'm not going to say 360, but 180. Right.
I'm just gonna pause that for a little and actually point out that many people, especially nowadays, get into relationships very easily without, let's say, any emotional maturity and without actually knowing that they should give themselves time and their partner, well, prospective partner as well, time to get to know one another, because people nowadays fake it to impress very easily, and they can fool you very easily with sweet words, with sweet gestures, with sweet stuff. And once they get a grasp of you, then they will not let go, and that will provoke a never-ending cycle of lying, basically. So you have to give yourself a few months before actually a few months of talking, then going on dates, then so on, before actually going official and going into a relationship. But that's just my opinion.
Started to do.
Well, he started to like hang out and come home the next morning type of stuff, and just not give any good excuses to why he's doing this. And then we had some issues with other females that he was dealing with. And
give me an example of a woman that you think he was having an illicit relationship with.
One woman, her mother actually came and knocked on our door and told me that she thought I was mad at them because I guess she seen me at a gas station somewhere and thought I was giving her the evil eye. I'm like, I didn't even notice that you were there, you know, but it told on itself. And she came and knocked on our front door and said this with her daughter in the car. Her daughter never said anything, but she told us the story, you know, told me what was supposedly going on or whatnot.
So this is why you should pick and choose your friends, especially if you are in a relationship. No one, in my opinion, no one says men and women cannot be friends, but there have to be established some boundaries between them. I mean, if me as a man, I would have a female friend, I would establish some boundaries. Okay, I have a girlfriend, I have a wife, I have everything, I have a child, I have etc etc etc. I want you as a friend. I want everything between us to be as in between friends. And this is a boundary that you or your family cannot cross. Especially, this is viable, especially if those female or male friends have some mamas that love to stir up trouble, from what I get.
I was like, could you come home to straighten this out? And he was like, I'll be there, I'm coming, and never showed up. So then I had to go.
Well, you know, fool, right? You're not going there with a mad wife, a mad girlfriend, and the mad girlfriend's mad mother.
So I had to go find him. And when I found him, you know, I slapped him, but I was upset about what happened. And till this day, I still never know what was going on in that relationship.
What did the mother tell you?
She told me that they were, him and the daughter was messing around, and when I think he's here, he's over there with the daughter, and.
See, I was talking about boundaries, but it's also a little bit her fault that she is basically falling for that mother's schemes, especially if the daughter has not said a word. I mean, probably the daughter is not even involved in all this matter, right? It can happen.
Don't you find that going over to some other woman's house, kicking back and drinking, is not conducive to a good marriage? That's kind of a messy thing to do, even if there wasn't any touching going on? Yeah. Mr. Merriweather, what is your primary complaint with Mrs. Merriweather?
Well, I feel she's very bossy.
Bossy.
Like one time she texted me one night and told me, I don't feel you should go outside unless it's with me or the kids. I've been incarcerated. I got incarcerated 2004, got out 07. When I got out, I was out for about 7 months, went back, did another 18 months, and then that's when we hooked up. And I'm like, I've been in prison before. I don't want to, sit in the house.
Get out and be in prison again.
That's how I felt.
Why don't some women, but men as well, understand that you need to also give your partner some freedom to make some choices too. If you cling on to your partner so much that he cannot breathe near you, you'll end up just pushing him away, and ultimately he will end up either cheating or, I don't know, wanting something else, And the thing is, obviously, that person that you are trying to hold on to so much may actually love you, may actually want to be with you, but he or she might want to have a little bit of freedom to go out once in a while and so on. Obviously, as we're gonna see in this case, that is not the case here. He wants to party and so on and so forth every other day, which is not okay. But we'll talk about that too.
Ms. Merriweather, did you tell that man that?
Yeah, this is after all the other stuff that's happened, after coming home 3 and 4 times and letting the son beat him home type of thing. So then he says that, I just hang out with my friends. And well, I figured when I said that, I was like, well, then maybe you shouldn't go out with us. Then if you can't know how to come home, we can lead you home because we live there too. So,
Mr. Merriweather, were you doing a lot of this, that, and the other thing that would cause any person concerned about their spouse? Were you staying out all night, not coming home?
Yeah, I was staying out all night. And when it gets to that point to where it's late, I'm like, I don't think I should go home because it's going to be some trouble.
Trouble, right.
And
see, exactly what I was talking about. She ended up driving him away, or at least spend time with his friends more and more and more, simply because of this obsessive attitude about him being at home, him being around. Obviously, as a father, you have to be around your kids, you have to take care of them, you have to prioritize your family over friends, but these are not things that exclude each other completely. And it should not be like that. You have a home, not a prison. You have a family, not a guardian. That is how a healthy relationship should look like. Obviously, someone, if he or she wants to cheat, he or she will cheat anyways. And you will not be able to. Sometimes you may not be able to recognize it. Most people don't recognize it from the first time. They will cheat like once or twice or 3 times and so on. So you have, again, I'm going to repeat myself, you have to let your partner have his own independence, and meanwhile appreciating him and appreciating each other, him appreciating you and you appreciating him, and so on and so forth.
And it's been several times I done went home and she done hit me upside my head. I'm thinking we're in the ring somewhere.
Yeah.
But I took it in stride and tried to work it out and then compete the same cycle over and over again.
Yeah, I understand what you're telling me this way. I had one son who used to, if he stayed out past curfew, he said, I might as well stay till morning because I'm already in trouble. Might as well go for broke. She also says that she's seen texts on your phone of a naked picture of you with somebody behind you naked too. Now, are you aware of that?
Yes, I am.
Oh my God, I wonder what's his excuse for this. I mean, honestly, this is like crossing the line. I think this is also why you should pick your environment of friends. I mean, you have people usually say that you can have any type of friends or you can be friends with anyone and so on, and you have to be friendly anytime, but that is not the case. People are somewhat different, and while there are maybe people that can have some common ground and can establish some friendships, uh, the real friendships will happen once you, let's say, pass a threshold of common points, right? And the thing is, those common points can easily be influenced by others, and this is, well, more, let's say, children are more susceptible to being influenced by the environment, but that can happen also to adults, like we see here. Obviously, if you like to drink, let's say, and you drink regularly, but you end up with friends that drink like every other day, obviously you're going to end up drinking every other day instead of once a month, right? Instead of having a party, you're going to be having tantrums at home. And obviously that's not the case, and that's not cohesive to a relationship, a marriage, a family.
How'd that happen?
I was wasted that night, and I took the picture, accidentally tried to erase it, and accidentally pressed post, and it went viral. and after that, I sobered up instantly, and I'm like, it's time to go home.
Wait. I find it real funny. This man did something like this by mistake to post a picture online. Other people do it for fun or for money. I wonder which one is worse. I mean, definitely those who do it for money is worse, but I mean, that's an entire discussion as well. What do you think? Which one is worse? Like posting a profile picture with you naked on social media by mistake, or purposely taking pictures of yourself, of your body, and selling them online?
And
That should be a cautionary tale for everybody.
Yeah.
Accidentally took the picture and accidentally, and I believe you.
yeah,
I believe you.
I was trying to erase it and hit
Did
post.
you hit post and bam, the whole
there it
world
goes.
saw
Yeah.
it.
And then I immediately deactivated my page, so like
To minimize the damage.
Yeah, and then like a week later, someone must have screenshotted it, and there.
Yeah, no, once it's out there, it's out there. There's no
was over
pulling
with.
it back. And in her papers, I sensed exhaustion. She was sick of it. She feels like that you're running and gunning just like you're a single guy, and she's had it and she's done. Your responses to me seemed more like, man, if she can take a little more, I'm going to hang in there and I want to keep her because there's no downside to having her around. What, did I get that wrong?
Yeah,
Okay, how wrong am I?
I love her very much, and she's a good wife.
Right.
You know.
You do understand that what you're doing is hurting her, correct?
Yes, I do.
I mean, it's not like you're playing a little too much golf during the week. You're staying out all night, getting mad drunk, losing your clothes with someone else who lost their clothes and sending it across the world. I mean, you're doing bad stuff. What is it you're willing to do to keep the woman you profess to love?
So this is where couples fail to understand something. Once you do a certain thing, maybe you take a bad decision, you have to understand that there may be some consequences associated with that. And you have to live with those consequences. Like in his case, he ended up posting a picture online with him naked, but why was he naked in the first place? Was he with another woman naked in the first place? Right? And that may have ended up because they were drunk and they were all sweaty and they started throwing their clothes off and so on. But it can be very interpretable, right? Not only can it be very interpretable, but uh, it can also end up in front of your children. or in front of his children, that picture. And obviously you are him being drunk and naked is not setting a good example for the children. So you should always think about the consequences of your actions and of your being inside an environment that doesn't suit your family, your needs, your financial stability, your emotional stability, and so on and so forth. We have the opportunity to choose who we are, who we want to be, and what we do to get there.
I'm willing to change my life for her. And
You told her that once before. You remember that,
yes,
right?
I did, yep.
And how long did that change last?
Not very long.
How long did it last?
About 30 days.
About 30 days. Yeah.
About.
Never take them back. At least until you see 6 months of change. I mean, at the very least. A year is even better, but 30 days, anybody can fool you for 30 days. You know, I could stop doing a whole lot of things for 30 days, but I'd be back to it on day 31.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think Judge Lynn is right here, and in general, people should take their time on getting to know someone. Obviously, when you first start dating, you're going to be falling head over heels with the first person that shows you attention or shows you those little things that you want. But you have to be careful. You have to give the relationship time to grow in order to see how the people around you react to this change, how you react to this change, how your prospective partner reacts to this change. And only after that you can make it official. Or you can not, right? You can choose not to. That is my opinion. What do you think about it? Tell me in the comments.
He said that I'm bossy. I'm not bossy. I'm a boss. There's a difference, you know. I'm being put in a position where I have to do things.
Right.
Not that I always want to do them, but if you put me in the positions to make me do that, then I have to stand. Somebody has to do it, or we'll be running up.
So how come you have to be the boss? What is he failing to do that puts you in that position?
Like, just with like our finances, or to get up and do stuff with the kids or the house, or make sure everything's done. If it's not done, they expect somebody to do it. And he's even made the mistake of saying one time, like, well, if I wasn't here, you would have to do it anyway. Yeah, but I could be doing it with somebody else if you're not going to do right.
And she's right. She shouldn't be with someone who doesn't suit her needs. And not only that, but more specifically, she shouldn't be with someone who doesn't try to be better each day. Because people make mistakes. It is true. But people who do not try to right their wrongs, those are the worst people to have around you.
Mr. Merriweather, do you feel like you're doing less than carrying your weight at the home?
No, and yeah, at the same time, because it's like she asked me to paint, okay? I haven't done it yet. She did it. Now,
here's the key part. How long between the request and her decision to do it herself?
about a month, maybe.
See? You're not working. You're drinking.
Well, I'm my own I'm handyman. I do my own handyman work.
Right.
And I have relatives that call me, say they need something done. I go do it and get paid for it at the same time. But when I bring the money home, it's like everything is okay.
That is not an excuse. That is not an excuse. Just because you do the bare minimum, that does not excuse you not doing things like, I don't know, no one says to do it the next second. I see some videos over the internet of like the boyfriend or husband that does not clean the dishes like the second the wife tells him, and then she does it and so on. That's not okay. I mean, give the man time. He has also other stuff to do, or other things that may give him joy, peace, relaxation, and so on. But if he does not do it at all, like it has to pass 30 days and he still didn't do it, obviously he doesn't want to, and obviously he doesn't understand that in a relationship you have to share responsibilities regarding finance, regarding taking care of the household, regarding anything like that.
Ms. Merriweather?
No, we're supposed to bring money home anyway, but that's the difference. When I ask him to do something, you can pay because everything else is taken care of. You should think of it like, think of it like that. But he does what they say do first all the time. And I feel like, I don't have a problem with his family, but the way he treats me in relation to his family, like I'm on the back burner. I can't be on the back burner. I'm supposed to come first because when it's my family, I put him first.
She has a strong argument for this. It's important to realize that when you're entering a marriage, both families have to come first. The obviously your family is important, but it's equally important to take care of the family you're trying to create. So obviously you cannot have one attitude with your own family and one attitude with the other person's family or the other person itself.
She's the one that you made the pledge to. Your family just showed up because they're your family. You picked her. You pointed at her and said, you're the one that I'll take care of and love and support and comfort, and you're not doing it. And she's mad about it.
Very mad.
Very mad. Do you think she has a right to be angry?
Yes, ma'am.
That's a good start. We're going to start there, and then we're going to try to get to rational from there.
Okay. Him to be a better role model with the drinking and stuff like that, because we have male children also.
Right.
That, I want him to be a role model for, and to show our female children that's not, how he treats me is not how I want them to be treated by men, men.
By men. It's not a good example to set.
Right.
Does he engage with the kids? Does he, do things with them?
Yeah,
go places with them? Teach them things?
When he's on one of the good cycles, but those are far and in between, so.
At this point, I think she needs to take a break from him. She has a good point, and the thing is, he needs to understand it too. She has a great mentality about what a family is and what the parents' role in a family is, actually. As some people say, there are some parents who should not be parents, should not have the right to be parents, but unfortunately that right, we cannot, let's say, control it. Not ourselves from the outside. Only those who want to be parents or end up being parents can control that. When you are being a parent, you need to understand that you have a responsibility to be your best self in front of your child. Obviously, there are going to be fights. Obviously, there are going to be disputes and so on and so forth. But you should protect your family, protect your children from those fights, because not only you show your worst selves in them, but you also show them some things that they may pick up, some bad habits that they may pick up, such as drinking, such as shouting, such as name calling, and so on and so forth. And they will do that too, not only with their partners, but also with other people, which will make them seem antisocial, or obviously will make them actually antisocial and isolated from the entire world, which will obviously lead to them not being able to get a job, and then perpetuating a cycle of toxicity inside the society. So you as a parent, you are a key element in your child's education, in your child's mentality, in your child's dreams and wants, in your child's future, obviously.
With that?
A little bit, because like I said, I want to go back to the bossing. It feels like I'm in prison sometimes, to where when you're giving me ultimatums to do things, like an example, find a job. Okay, I get up, search, find a job, call, check on applications. If I don't get no call back and they don't hire me, then what am I to do about that? And I try my hardest. I think I do, but she doesn't.
Do you not agree that he's doing the best he can? He's got a felony, so, I mean, that's good. That makes it tough. Are you taking that into account?
Yeah, because, I mean, it's been so long, though. I've seen, like, people that, some of his friends, too, that has been in the same situation that he's in, and they get out and they get jobs. They have jobs. They have them right now, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, what are you not doing? And, like, I always tell them, like, I used to help people do resumes and stuff like that, but he doesn't want my advice to take him. He feels like I'm being bossy, but if you don't get a result, then why not take
any help you can get?
Right. But
why not take any help you can get?
I love how Judge Lynn just turned her head around and she was like, why not get any help you can get? Obviously, because of men ego. which is not a good thing, but I admit I do have it also. Well, not to this extent, because I would actually take some help. No, I'm sorry. Probably I wouldn't, unless it was like a last resort or something. But obviously, for him, it's a last resort, so I don't get why he would not take the help, especially if his wife would actually help him, because that's what couples do, help each other and support each other. But obviously, he does not understand that.
Well, she actually did the resume for me, and it's out there. It's just that I don't get any calls back. Like, I had an interview. He said, call back tomorrow, call back tomorrow. I called back. And he started spitting me this same line. So I'm wondering, is they just playing around with me, or you really want to give me a job?
Ms. Merriweather,
I say, I always say that you got to keep calling. If you have something that's against you, just keep calling. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of other people out here looking for jobs. And now, college kids come home. A lot of those jobs get taken. But if you're not out there trying, at least, finding a job is hard as looking for it. That's like a job in itself. And he's
right,
not.
Yeah, you got to keep looking. I mean, keep looking and keep looking and keep looking.
And I think he puts like
a little bit of effort out there. Don't get a call back, and then a couple of days of drinking. Is it kind of like that? You're frustrated, you drink, and all that kind of stuff.
How can he be so dumb that he would actually think that his wife would not want to support him into being a better provider for his and her family? And how can he accuse so shamelessly that she might not want him to get a job or anything like that, simply because he's not able and he's feeling frustrated? That's something I don't agree with. That's outrageous. Tell me in the comments, what do you think about this sequence here?
Mr. Merriweather, I think your problem is this. You are trying to be a right guy in a wrong environment. It's difficult to become better than, because the less thans are so much more fun than the better than people. The better than people want you to work. They want you to give a good example to their children. They want you to paint the house. The less than is like, let's kick back, take off our clothes, and get to snapping. It's, and what you need to do is make a decision, is whether or not she's worth it. Because she's sick of less than. She can do, as they say, bad all by herself, and she doesn't have to chase your drunk behind around and hide your slovenliness from her children. If you're not going to add anything to the table, get up and leave. That's her point of view. And you have to understand that while you've had difficult times, and I'm sure you feel you deserve some measure of joy and whatnot, if you ain't contributing, you're like an anchor around her neck, and you're bringing her down. And if you want to be that guy, cut him loose. And that's going to be your job, because he's benefiting from you. He's got a place to stay. He's got somebody to care for him, feed him, and all this kind of stuff. And he realizes you're not going to do anything. I cannot tell you how many women who have come here, filed the papers, and then stopped everything because he said, I love you, outside those doors.
Yeah.
Don't let that happen to you. Enjoy your life. Don't tether it to somebody who is just sinking.
Tell her, Judge. Many people stay in relationships with someone who is not worthy of them, and the thing is sad, to be honest. As Judge said, many people divorce each other, and after that they go back on their word and get together again, and so on and so forth, knowing full well that they already know their partner's flaws and they hope that everything will change. But the thing is, this may be viable with teenagers, with people like between 20 and 30 and so on. But once you hit 40 or something, you do not change. You already have some principles, you already have a mentality, you already kind of know what you want from life. You kind of have your life figured out. You're ready to have a child or more. You're ready to be a parent. You're ready to be a mentor. You're ready for basically to give another life meaning. And if that person beside you is not who you want to be with, who is not a person that is respectable enough to be a parent to your child, then just leave them.
And because all that static and agitation, it's terrible. And you're not happy with your kids, and you're not happy with your life, and he's not bringing anything to the table. You know, when you kick him to the curb, I mean all the way to the curb, close the doors, the shutters, lock it up. Don't answer the phone because he's not bringing anything to the table. And it's just not worth it. You want $800 as he goes. What is that $800 for?
For in my Suburban that I use for my daycare, he got into an accident with it.
Did he have your permission to drive it?
He did, but I think he might have been under the influence is why the accident happened. And that wasn't part of the plan. Because he was driving one of the children, so. Yeah.
Mr. Merriweather, you're chipping away at your very personhood here. You lost your license, don't have a job, staying out all night. Come on, don't be an asterisk to the end of a really bad story. Were you under the influence in the car, Mr. Merriweather? Be a man, tell me the truth.
Yeah, we drank a few beers.
Yeah, you drank a few beers. Do you have any evidence of the $800?
No, I didn't bring it with me.
How much damage did you do?
New bumper, new grill.
Oh, that's $800. $800 in favor of Mrs. Merriweather. It is so ordered.